Wednesday, May 21st, 2025, Evening Edition. Please pardon any visual and informational inaccuracies in this entirely AI-generated News Digest video.
Good evening, dear viewers. I am your news anchor, Xander Voxius III, and thank you for tuning in to the Future of News, AGNDD intelliReport. We're excited to have you with us as we dive into today's intriguing stories. From the rule-bending deportations to South Sudan's land, to ex-inmates steering big rigs with a helping hand, India's influencers chase subscribers, not just fleeting fame, while Gensal's fraud claims spark a legal blame game. I will be assisted by my valued AI-generated colleagues in scraping the web for the latest stories and interesting topics and summarizing them for you. Let's explore the world together with curiosity and insight. And here are some more headlines and stories you may expect in today's AI News Digest. Indianapolis Colts owner Jim Irsay dies at 65. Baby killer confesses to newborn's murder 30 years ago. Europa League final player ratings, heroes and flops. Now let's take a look at today's breaking news. Breaking news. Judge rules U.S. deportations to South Sudan violate court order, BBC. A federal judge ruled that the U.S. violated his order by deporting 8 men to South Sudan without allowing them to challenge their removal. The Department of Homeland Security argued the deportations were necessary due to the men's criminal convictions, but the judge emphasized the need for due process. FAA extends Newark flight limits over construction, safety concerns. The Washington Post. Federal air safety regulators have limited flights at Newark Liberty International Airport due to staffing shortages and outdated systems. The FAA capped arrivals and departures to address delays and safety concerns, with plans to increase limits post-construction. Travelers' confidence in air safety is waning amid recent outages and incidents. Europa League final player ratings, who was heroic and who was gobbled up? BBC. Guglielmo Vicario had a nervy start, saved by Van de Ven's clearance. Porro's crossing troubled United, while Romero delivered a dominant display. Van de Ven and Bissouma impressed defensively. Sarr and Bentancur contributed significantly in midfield. Richarlison performed well before injury, and Solanke and Johnson were active in attack. Netanyahu promises new Gaza aid delivery plan as supplies still fail to reach Palestinians. AP News. The UN is struggling to distribute aid in Gaza due to Israeli military restrictions and fears of looting. Israeli strikes have killed at least 86 people. Israel plans a new aid system criticized internationally, proposing a sterile zone free of Hamas, while the blockade risks famine for Gaza's population. Dow Jones today. Stocks plunge, Treasury yields surge as investors monitor tax bill. Dow drops 800 points, Bitcoin wavers after hitting record high. Investopedia. CoreWeave's shares soared nearly 20% after announcing a $2 billion debt offering, $500 million more than initially planned. The NVIDIA-backed cloud computing company aims to use the proceeds to repay existing debt. CoreWeave's stock has nearly tripled since its March IPO, supported by significant revenue growth and NVIDIA's stake.
If you've been enjoying our AGNDD intelliReports and finding them useful, please take a moment now to press like, then click subscribe, and in the drop-down menu select All to get notified of each new video released so you don't miss out on any breaking news. AGNDD intelliReport, the future of news is here.
May 21st in history. May 21st, 293. Roman emperors Diocletian and Maximian appoint Galerius as Caesar to Diocletian, beginning the period of 4 rulers known as the Tetrarchy. May 21st, 1864. Russia declares an end to the Russo-Circassian War, and many Circassians are forced into exile. The day is designated the Circassian Day of Mourning.
Famous people born on this day. May 21st, 1997. Ivan De Santis, Italian footballer. May 21st, 1948. Dennis McShane, Scottish journalist and politician, UK Minister of State for Europe. May 21st, 1916. Tinus Ozendarp, Dutch sprinter and police officer, died 2002. And now on to today's news.
Business news. PFC declares Gensol as fraud to approach NCLT if recovery falls short. Liveman. Power Finance Corp declared its loan to Gensol Engineering as fraud and fully provided for it. The loan amount reduced to Rs 263 crore after security encashment. PFC's net profit rose 23.5% to Rs 109 crore, with a loan growth of 12.8%. Gensol's promoters face CB action for fund diversion. Mexico City takes steps to find killer of mayor's aides. BizTalk.com.
Technology news. Moment baby killer calmly admits to suffocating burning newborn baby Moses 30 years ago, caught on tape. I did it. New York Post. Carrie Mazuka, 52, admitted to suffocating and burning her newborn son, known as baby Moses, in Albany's Washington Park nearly 30 years ago. DNA testing linked her to the crime, leading to her confession and a guilty plea to manslaughter. She was sentenced to 25 years in prison. Trump's Golden Dome U.S. missile defense plan faces major challenges. Spacewar.com. Trump's Golden Dome missile defense plan, aiming for nationwide protection against various missile threats, faces significant technical and political hurdles. Estimated to cost far more than Trump's $175 billion projection, the plan requires bipartisan agreement and substantial progress in defense technology. Canada is considering partnership discussions. Science news. Youths allege irregularities in contract appointments at Center for Earth Science and Himalayan Studies. Demand inquiry. TheHillstimes.in. A group of unemployed youths, led by Pitam Jomo, alleges irregularities in appointments at the Center for Earth Science and Himalayan Studies in Arunachal Pradesh, claiming nepotism and lack of transparency. They demand an independent inquiry, threatening legal action if the government doesn't investigate. Director Tanataj promises a response. Caitlin Clark smashes WNBA record in just second game of season. FreeRepublic.com. Caitlin Clark, a star guard for the Indiana Fever, broke a WNBA record in just her second game of the season. She achieved a triple-double in her first game and scored 27 points with 11 assists in her second, setting the record for most games with 25-plus points and 10-plus assists. Trump's Golden Dome U.S. missile defense plan faces major challenges. Spacewar.com. President Trump's Golden Dome missile defense plan faces technical and political hurdles, with costs potentially exceeding estimates. The system aims to counter diverse threats, but experts question its feasibility and cost-effectiveness. Canada is considering joining the initiative amid broader defense and trade discussions with the U.S. and European allies.
Today's obituaries. George Coulomb. Brief Wikipedia summary. George Coulomb, founder of the Texas Renaissance Festival and former mayor of Todd, Mission, Texas, passed away in May 2025. He was known for creating the largest Renaissance fair in the U.S. and was featured in an HBO documentary. Coulomb faced legal issues and was accused of sexual harassment. Nancy Doe. Brief Wikipedia summary. Nancy Bone Doe, former First Lady of Liberia, was instrumental in establishing a national market women's association and scholarship opportunities for Liberian students. After her husband's execution, she lived in exile and later returned to Liberia. In 2019, she won a lawsuit for access to her late husband's funds. She passed away in 2025. Jim Irsay. Brief Wikipedia summary. Jim Irsay, American businessman and owner of the Indianapolis Colts since 1997, passed away in 2025. He played a significant role in the NFL, leading the Colts to numerous victories and Super Bowl appearances. Irsay was also known for his philanthropy, notably supporting mental health initiatives and cancer research. Kirill Lebedev. Brief Wikipedia summary. Kirill Lebedev was a Russian ice hockey forward who played for Metallurg Magnitogorsk, HC Sochi, Kunlun Red Star, and Neftyanik Almatyevsk. He debuted in the KHL in the 2010-11 season and passed away on the 21st of May 2025 at age 33. Gloria Montenegro. Brief Wikipedia summary. Gloria Montenegro, a prominent botanist and academic, has contributed significantly to botany and conservation, focusing on native flora and honey authentication in Chile. She has published over 240 scientific works and was awarded the L'Oréal UNESCO for Women in Science International Award in 1998. Albrecht Schoen. Brief Wikipedia summary. Albrecht Schoen was a renowned Germanist and professor of German philology at the University of Göttingen from 1960 to 1990. His research focused on the Baroque era and Enlightenment, combining philology with other disciplines. Schoen received numerous awards, including the Ordre pour le Mérite, before passing away at 99. Barry Fantoni. Brief Wikipedia summary. Barry Fantoni, a British author, cartoonist, and jazz musician, was known for his work with Private Eye magazine and his creation of Neasden FC. He also wrote books on Chinese astrology and a mystery novel. Fantoni passed away at 85 in Turin from a heart attack. All other people who have died today or yesterday, may peacefully they rest, and may God have mercy on their souls.
Health news. Longtime Indianapolis Colts owner Jim Irsay dies at 65. FreeRepublic.com. Jim Irsay, longtime owner of the Indianapolis Colts, passed away at 65. The cause of death is not specified, though he had faced health issues. Known for his generosity and love for music, Irsay also struggled with drug addiction. His passing marks the end of an era for the Colts. On the up, Bay of Plenty Export Awards finalists announced. New Zealand Herald. The Export NZ ASB Bay of Plenty Export Awards, organized by the EMA, celebrate outstanding exporters across categories like Best Emerging Business and Excellence in Innovation. Finalists include Blue Lab, CarePatron, and Lavu, with the awards fostering a collaborative culture and recognizing individual contributions to export success. The event occurs on July 18th. Job program for the formerly incarcerated tackles trucking industry shortage. CBS News. A job program in New York City helps former inmates like Jorge Badilla transition into the trucking industry amid a driver shortage. By providing commercial driver's license training, the program reduces recidivism and offers participants a path to stable employment, benefiting both individuals and the economy. Entertainment news. Dorminator, Foxconn preps for iPhone Army, The Times of India. Foxconn is advancing its plans to manufacture iPhones in India, despite U.S. President Trump's comments against it. The company is investing $2.56 billion in its Devanahalli plant in Karnataka, aiming to produce 100,000 iPhones by December. Dormitories for 30,000 workers are being constructed, with women given housing preference. Amano owner Saver reports loss as economic pressures take bite out of earnings. New Zealand Herald. India's over 4 million influencers have a lament. Views aren't leading to subscribers. Live Mint. India's content space is highly competitive, with over 4 million influencers vying for attention. Creators face challenges converting viewers into subscribers due to shrinking attention spans. Successful strategies include short, engaging video clips with cliffhangers, collaborations, and topical content. However, sustainable growth requires authentic engagement beyond gimmicks like giveaways.
You ever notice how some historical events and headlines just make you want to shake your globe and wonder if this planet is spinning backwards? I'm Globey, and I've got a bone to pick with the way the world turns sometimes. First off, let's talk about Jim Irsay, the owner of the Indianapolis Colts, dies at 65. You know, in the grand orbit of life, 65 feels like a pretty quick trip around the sun, doesn't it? These sports moguls, they think they've conquered the world just because they own a team that throws a globe around. Yet when they leave this globe, it's just a reminder that you can't take your touchdowns with you. And speaking of messed up orbits, how about the baby killer confessing to a newborn's murder 30 years ago? 30 years! That's like almost one Saturn revolution. What I can't wrap my globe-shaped mind around is how someone carries that guilt for so long without combusting from interplanetary turmoil. Maybe they thought they could just sweep it under the cosmic rug. But here's a tip. Just because time moves forward doesn't mean your crimes fall off the Earth's edge. Oh, and then there's the Europa League final player ratings, heroes and flops. Isn't it something that we Earthlings are obsessed with, ranking everything? One minute you're a hero, the next you're the flop of the solar system. Just think of it as planetary alignment. Sometimes you're Jupiter, all big and glorious, and sometimes you're Pluto, not even a planet anymore. Harsh world, eh? Next up in our news galaxy, anytime someone says inflation is temporary, I roll my globe so hard I almost tilt on my axis. We've been hearing that story since humans decided that shiny rocks were worth trading. If inflation is so temporary, why does my wallet feel like it's orbiting a black hole? Lastly, let's spin over to that timeless doomsday headline, Earth will eventually crash into the sun. I don't know about you, but that seems like the ultimate in long-term planning. Forget saving for retirement. Let's figure out where we're going when this little blue marble is toast. But hey, at least when it happens, we can all finally agree that it was indeed getting warmer. In the end, this planet's headlines are enough to make anyone feel like they're globes in the clouds. But keep your feet on the ground and remember, life on Earth might be wobbly, but at least it's never boring.
Thank you for watching this AGND intelliReport, dear viewers. Like, subscribe, and click the bell button to get notified during new uploads. And make sure to tune in next time. Stay safe and healthy. Cheers.